right, everybody. Welcome to the final game of the NBC Game of the Week schedule. Played September the 30th, 1978. It's the Boston Red Sox hosting the Toronto Blue Jays in what looks like a mismatch, but that's why you play the games. You never quite know who is going to do what. Hello, Kenyon. Yep. I like to finish. I like to finish as many projects as I can. I don't like to start a project unless I think I can finish it. And so that's why I persevered, even though the last few weeks have not been the greatest weeks for this game and for my, the games have been blowouts and stuff like that. So it's been kind of rough. Haven't had any close games, and this one may not be any different because you got Toronto and Boston. But hey, you never know what the dice are going to say. It's Dennis Eckersley against Jesse Jefferson. I haven't decided. I'm kind of torn between finishing this right here today and whether or not I should do a World Series replay, but I'm not sure if I want to do a World Series replay because really the project itself was the NBC Game of the Week, and that ends today. So maybe sometime I'll do a 78 World Series replay. I don't know. I have to wait and see. All right, so it is Toronto and Boston, and we are at Fenway Park in Boston, so we need to figure out the weather. Like I said, don't do rain or wind. I'm just looking at temperature. It's a September game, which is 59 degrees. To get a boost, you have to be over 83, so you have to be 84. So they're going to need these three dice to total 25 or higher. Not a good proposition, but it could happen. But it does not. It only totals 11, so it means it's a 70-degree day, which is normal. And so the deep drives at Fenway Park are going to be whatever they were supposed to be to begin with, because no assist from the weather, from the warm weather, I should say. Hello, Ernest. Hello, Colin. Hello, Clay. Thank you for making such an entertaining game and a thought-provoking game. A lot of things in this game that are unique to this game, and that's good. You don't want to, be a carbon copy of something else. So we're going to have Toronto, and oddly enough, before this replay even started, I did a Toronto game because I didn't think Toronto would be in the NBC Game of the Week schedule. But as it turns out, here they are in the last week. So there you go. Hello, Jeff. Good to see you also. All right, so don't know a whole lot about a lot of the Toronto players. Rick Bassetti, Bob Baylor, Roy Howell, I know John Mayberry, Al Woods, Willie Upshaw, Alan Ashby, Dave McKay, and Louis Gomez are your starters. For the Red Sox, it's Burleson, Remy, Rice, Yastrzemski, Fisk, Lynn, Hobson, Scott, and Brohammer at third base. And that's what we got. And here comes Dennis Eckersley. So we're underway here from Fenway in this final. Hello, Ernesto, if I didn't say hello to you. In this final game of the 1978 NBC Game of the Week. It's underway. Oh, already we got a ballpark effect. 683. Visiting team is batting, so there's no boost. But 683 will still be a single. So that's a base hit for Rick Bassetti. Gets a Fenway Park base hit for Bassetti. He's at first base for Bob Baylor. Hello, Captain. Good to see you. Bob Baylor. Playing a little bit of everywhere, but mainly right field. That's where he's playing today, and that's where he's primarily rated in the game. So I don't need a secondary defensive chart for that. But you can see he played all three outfield positions plus the middle infield, or the left side of the infield. So he was pretty versatile. 227, and that's a split chance for Eckersley against a right-hander. 227 is going to be a 5-3 double play. Boy, if he'd been facing a lefty, it'd have been a single. But instead, it's a 5-3 double play. Wow. Now, I'm trying to figure out how you do a 5-3 double play with a runner on first. Not sure how to score that because it should go 5-4 to 3, you would think. Unless it's a line drive to the third baseman, he throws to first to double off Bassetti. That's what I'm going to have to go with. That's the only thing that makes sense in this case. Is a 5 and a 5-3 double play. And Clay, I guess you could give some clarification on that. I'm assuming that's what that means with no runner on first. With no runner on second, rather. No second baseman listed in the double play scoring. It's just 5-3. So I'm taking it as it's a line drive to third, and they double the runner off first. That's what I'm guessing on this point to be a double play. So that's 2 away. And here's Roy Howell. That's a 330. I'm sorry, 303. 303 is going to be a strikeout. 330 would have also been a strikeout, but 303 even more so. So Toronto gets a big 0 on their board to start the game. Double play kind of took the steam out of that one. Hello, Doug. Good to see you. So bottom of the first we go. And Jesse Jefferson, not the best pitcher in the world. He was 7-16 with a 438 earned run average. Captain, it can't be a 5-3. There's no way. It's physically impossible to be a 5-3 double without a line drive and a throw to the first baseman, because there's no middle involved. The third baseman's not going to make the force play at second and then throw to first. So it's got to be a line drive to third and a throw to first, unless you incorporate, because here's 5-4-3. So, oh, wait a minute. It's only a double play with runners on first and second. Okay, so I played that wrong then. Because it has double play listed on the card. It did have double play listed on the card. Where'd it go? I'm sorry, on Eckersley card. It had 5-3 double play. So had I not known, I would have been a little confused on how to play that, because in reading that, it looks like it should have been a 5-3, 5-4-3 double play or a line drive double play. But yeah, that one's a little bit vague on how that was presented. So unless there's something in the rule book that explains it that I missed, and it's very well, because it's been a while since I read through the whole rule book. But that's neither here nor there, I don't suppose. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I know in the future, if I see a 5-3 double play, there has to be a runner at second, or else it's just a 5-3 ground out with the runner on first advancing. All right. Noted for the future. All right. Here's Rick Burleson. That's a 272 against a righty, and that's a deep drive to left field. Boy, that's a big scale for Jefferson to give up. He gave up 28 home runs, so the deep drive goes almost 50. It's 51 points, 248 to 299. That's a big spread. It's a deep drive to left, but Burleson's only a 1 power rating, so it's a good chance that he won't hit a home run. I'm going to roll the 2 dice and find out. That is an 8, so it's a total of 9. So he's still going to get a single out of it. So Rick Burleson will get a leadoff single. And that'll bring up Jerry Remy. But I just noticed a whole bunch of deep drives on Jesse Jefferson's card. He could be in for a long game. 79 becomes a 689 with the home team bat. 689 is a double. So a double 2-base advancement. You can't challenge anybody because there's no fielder listed. So it's first and second. Nobody out right away. And now you got the big boys, Rice, Yastrzemski, and Fisk coming up. That's a 307, and that's going to be a strikeout for Rice. 1 away, big strikeout for Jefferson. Now the infield will move in, that there's 1 out. They will bring the infield in, and the Red Sox will hold the runner on contact. They will not force Burleson to go. They're going to wait and see what happens. That's a 244, and that is a redirect to a 594. 594 on the redirect. Is that X there? The 24 turns into a 594. So 594, we're looking at the right fielder. And in that case, it is Bob Baylor. So Bob Baylor on a 594 is a fly ball to right field. Now, this is interesting because you have the runner on third, question mark, exclamation point. And if I read that correctly, that means he has to try to score. He cannot hold. It's not optional. He has to score. or he has to attempt to score, if I remember that correctly, with this question mark. Must challenge the outfielder's arm. That's what the rule book says. Okay. So they must challenge the outfielder's arm. His arm is a 6. The run rating of Burleson is only a 2. So it's definitely an advantage for Baylor here on the challenging the arm, because he's got a huge advantage. So the arm of Baylor is a 6. Add to the 10 is a 16. So these 3 dice plus the 2 speed have to be 16 or higher, or Burleson will be out. And he's out. That's an 11. And up to 16. So he is going to be out. It's going to be a double play. Burleson is out 9-2 on the double play. I played that correctly. That was of that. He had to try it, and he got thrown out trying it. So that's going to end it for the Red Sox. They start with second and third, nobody out, and can't score. Funny how that worked out. All right, here is John Mayberry, RFD. He will lead off the top of the second for the Blue Jays. Oops, dropped one of my dice. 101. That's a redirect to a 301, which will be a strikeout. Second strikeout for Eckersley. That brings up to Al Woods. I've also seen him called Alvis Woods, so seen it done both ways. 337, and that's a non-split, and that's a base hit for Al Woods, infield single. So Woods is aboard, and that brings up Willie Upshaw. He's in left field for this game. Later on, actually he's DH for this game, but later on become a full-time first baseman, but primarily a left fielder in 1978. That's a 661 on the ballpark. So we go back to Fenway for 661, and he just missed a wild pitch. That's a 1-3 ground out. So the runner will advance to second, but now there are 2 outs. Oops, put it this way. Now there are 2 outs. I wrote the wrong thing there. Duh. All right, so now there are 2 outs, and sitting at second base is Al Woods. For the catcher, Alan Ashby, more popular with the Houston Astros, or more well-known, I think, with the Houston Astros. .86, and that's a non-split, and 386 is a 4-3 double play, but it's just a 4-3 ground out because the runner's on second, not on first. So 4-3 ground out ends the inning, and the Blue Jays come away empty-handed. We got no score as we go to the bottom of second, and it'll be Pudge Fisk, Carlton Fisk, to lead off for the Red Sox, followed by Lynn and Hobson. That's a 578, and that's bad news for the left fielder because you get that blue 8. That's almost a doomsday. So the left fielder for the Blue Jays is Al Woods, but he's not going to have a chance here. 578, that's going to be a single. There is no run on first. If there was a run on first, he could challenge the arm, but can't challenge that because it's just simply going to be a single. So a single for Carlton Fisk. Brings up Fred Lynn. Hello, Ben. Good to see you. Freddie Lynn. That's a 569. Boy, the devil die is coming up the blue. That's like the D20 in Strat. You get that devil die as a 8 or 9, you're just in trouble. So the shortstop in this case, Louis Gomez, poor little Louis has no chance here. He's going to make an error. 569 is going to be an error on poor little Louis Gomez. E6. And that will put runners at first and second with nobody out. But they had runners at second and third with nobody out in the first inning, couldn't score. So you never know. Maybe you get a double play here and you can get out of the inning. Here's Butch Hobson, the DH. That's a 190. And that's going to be a bloop single to first, bloop single, but with less than 2 outs, the runners can only get 1 base because they don't know if the ball is going to be caught. So it loads the bases. With nobody out for George Scott, funny to put him way down in the 8th position, but that's where they had him. So bases loaded, nobody out. Blue Jays playing back for the double play. That's a 603. It becomes a 613 with the home team batting. 613 is a strikeout. So 603 would have been a double play, but 614 is a strikeout. Second strikeout for Jefferson. Now a double play would get him out of the inning. Here's Jack Brohammer, number 9 hitter, third baseman. 496 against a righty Jefferson. 496 is a fly ball to center field plus. So that means that's going to be a sacrifice fly to center. And not only does Fisk score from third, but Lynn will take third from second. Hobson has to stay at first on the plus. So sacrifice fly scores the first run of the game for the Red Sox, and they take a 1-0 lead. Hello, Miss Kathy. Good to see you. Hello, here's Rick Burleson. 140, and that's going to be a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. But the Red Sox pick up a run, and we go to the top of the third with the score: Boston 1 and Toronto 0. On this final NBC game of the week for the 1978 season, scheduled on September the 30th. Eckersley now will face McKay, Gomez, and Bossetti. That's a 261. And McKay is a switch hitter batting left, so we go to the left column with left and switch. 261 is a deep drive to right field. McKay's power, though, is a 3. So we're checking the deep drive to right field. We're going to take the 2 D10s, add them up, and add them to the 3 power rating of the batter, McKay. So they total a 3, add to the 3 for McKay, makes it a 6. He's still going to get a single. So McKay will get a base hit. Will not be a big power drive, but it will be a single. And the leadoff man is on for little Louis Gomez. 304. And that's going to be a strikeout for Louis. He's out on strikes. Strikeout number 3 for Eckersley. And that brings up Rick Bossetti. That's 346. Non-split. 346 is a pop-up to first base or foul out to third base, whatever you want to call it, or first base, whatever you want to call it. But what we call it is 2 outs and a runner at first. That's what we call it. And here's Bob Bailey. That's a 137. 137 is going to be a redirect to a 337. 337. And that's going to be another pop-up to first base, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third. Still 1-0 Boston. And if we look ahead to next week, on Monday, back to the 1987 replay in Stratomatic. We'll be at Fenway Park as well, as we will have the Cleveland Indians and Greg Swindell taking on Al Nipper and the Boston Red Sox. That will start the May 26th block of games. There's only 4 games that week or that day, so I knocked those 4 in a row right out: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, so here is Jerry Remy. 444. 444. Remy against the righty Jefferson. Come over to the righty side, 444, and that's a single to center field. He would have struck out against the lefty, but against the righty, he gets the base hit. He's 2 for 2, is Mr. Remy. And now that brings up Jim Rice. That's a 412. 412. And that's going to fall right here in the 406 to 426 range. It's a 643 double play. Tailor-made double play. And I still think there should have been some tailor shop that did a promo with baseball to sponsor the tailor-made double play of the game, but I don't think that ever happened, but it would be cool if it did. All right, here's Carl Yastrzemski. 451, and that's against a righty as well. 451. That's a 4-3 ground out. 4-6 fielder's choice with a runner on first, but with nobody on, just drops to a 4-3 ground out to end the inning. So Jesse Jefferson is holding his own through 3 innings. He's only given up 1 run, and that was unearned on top of it, because the sacrifice fly would not have happened without that error by the shortstop Gomez. So it's an unearned run that's on the board. And Roy Howell. 692 for Howell. 692 is going to be a double. Lead off 689 to 694 is going to be a double for Roy Howell. Roy Thurston Howell III. Now gives John Mayberry RFD. Looking for Opie. 461, or maybe Opium. I don't know, depending on what they were doing back in 78. 461 against a righty. 461 is a single to center field. It would have been a strikeout against a lefty, but here it's a single to center. Howell could challenge Fred Lynn's arm if he so chose, but Howell runs at a 0 speed, so I don't think he's going to be challenging anybody. He's going to hold with nobody out particularly. He will just hold there. So runners on the corners. Runners are on the corners. And the Red Sox are going to play for the double play. They need outs. Oh, it's a ground rule double. Okay, that's cool. I'll put a little GR on here. There we go, ground rule double. All right. Infield back for the double play. 632 for Woods on the ballpark card. 632 is a fly to center. Now, I'm assuming, Clay, since it's a fly to center on the ballpark card, that it means it's not deep enough and there's no challenge allowed. That's just a fly to center, and that's that, as far as I can tell, on the ballpark card, because there's no indication of that. So that's the way I'm going to play it, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be played. All right, here is Willie Upshaw. Upshaw again. Now, the double play gets him out of the inning. So 392, and that's going to be a fly. I'm sorry, 392 is a fly ball to right. It's not deep enough. The plus would have been a sac fly, but not here. It's just a fly to right that, again, is not deep enough. So the runner cannot advance. Now it's up to Alan Ashby. 657 for Ashby. 657 is a 3-1 put out. So how about that? Eckersley gets out of the mess. Runners at the corners, nobody out, and the Blue Jays don't score. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 1-0 Red Sox. And Pudge Fisk will lead things off. He scored the only run of the game so far on the sacrifice fly by Brohammer. That's a 185 non-split for Jefferson. And that's a bloop single, so 2 for 2 for Carlton Fisk. He is 2 for 2, and that brings up Freddie Lynn. 197, and that's going to be a pop-up or foul out to third, however you want to call it. 1 away. And that'll send up Butch Hobson, the DH. 291. Jefferson against a righty, but doesn't matter. That's a deep drive to left for Hobson. His power is a 7. He hit 17 home runs on the season. So a 7 power rating. We're going to add 7 to these 2 D10s. And if he can get a total of 9 or higher, he's pretty much got a home run. And that's a 12. So 7 to the 12. Well, wait a minute. That's going to cost him. How about that? He found the one spot that was not a home run. Are you kidding me? His power is a 7. We get a 9. That is a total of 16. Oh, it is a home run. I'm sorry. 16 is a home run. I was thinking it was the 19 there. For some reason, I got 19 on the brain. But that is a home run for Butch Hobson. As you can see, 9 on the total there. His power is a 7, total of 16. And a 16 on the deep drive to left at Fenway is a home run. So Butch Hobson, a 2-run home run to give the Red Sox a 3-0 lead on Jesse Jefferson and the Blue Jays. And bring up the boomer, George Scott. That's a 250 right-handed, and that's going to be a deep drive to left. See, Jefferson he's just in deep trouble on the deep drives with all that space there. So 250, Scott's a 6 power rating. But right back here again, we're going to add the 2 D10s to the 6 number. 6, and no, that's an 18. It gives him 24. And that's definitely a home run for George Scott. So back-to-back jacks for the Red Sox, and it's 4-0. And that could be the big beginning of the end for Jesse Jefferson. He's in deep doo-doo. down 4-0. Here's Brohammer. That's a 671, but the home team's batting, so it becomes 681. And a 681 is going to be a single. So the hit parade continues. And that may be all for, I think that's going to be it for Jesse Jefferson. He just seems to have lost it all here in the 4th inning for whatever reason. Don't know why. But Jefferson's out of there. He's going to go 3 1/3. And he's going to allow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits. So far, 4 runs, 3 are earned, but he's responsible for Brohammer. Gave up 2 long balls. He did not walk anybody. That was one thing he didn't do. And he struck out all of 2. And now Toronto will go to their bullpen. And I know nothing about any of these guys, so I'm just going to pick somebody out of the blue. Maybe somebody's got some length. Does anybody have stamina greater than 1? No, they're all stamina 1s. So, oh well. He's got the most innings. We'll go to Joe Coleman. He's got the most innings. So Joe Coleman is your relief pitcher. Definitely a veteran. He was pitching back in the 60s for the Washington Senators. So he's been around. And he'll be facing Rick Burleson. All right, that's a 316. And for Burleson, that is going to be a strikeout. Strikeout for Burleson for out number 2. And that'll take us to Jerry Remy. 342. And that's a non-split. 342 is an infield single. So that'll send Brohammer to second. First and second. 2 outs for Jim Rice. He's had a rough day. Struck out and hit into a double play. 317, and he's going to strike out again. So that's going to do it. 3 runs are in the inning, so we can cap Jefferson at 4 runs, 3 earned. And we go to the 5th. It is 4-0 Red Sox. Dennis Eckersley given 4 runs to work with against a meager and pretty pitiful Blue Jays team that lost over 100 games. So you would think he would be in a pretty good role there. All right, so here's McKay. 385, and that's a non-split. 385 is a 5-3 ground out. 1 away for little Louis Gomez, hitting all of 223 on the season. 661. 661 is a 1-3 ground out, and that's out number 2. Interesting thing for Gomez, on the 78th season, he stole 2 bases, got caught 10 times. You would think he'd stop running after he got caught so many times, but that's unusual to get caught 10 times and only steal 2 bases. Anyway, here's Rick Bossetti. Hello, John. Good to see you. Rick Bossetti, 654. 654 is a 6-3 ground out, and that will end the inning. So 1, 2, 3 for Eckersley. Takes care of the Blue Jays. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Coleman, since he was a 1, he is now subject to fatigue this inning. Anything he gives up is going to add 10 to the ballpark rolls. That's a 156, and that's going to be a line drive right back to Coleman for out number 1. If a runner had been on first, they would have been doubled off, but there was nobody on first. Here's Fisk. Fisk, 222, room 2. That was an old show called Room 222. Back in the day, I remember that show. 222 is a redirect to a 422. 422. And a 422 on Fisk is going to be a 4-6 or 4-3 in this case ground out. So 2 down. Here's Freddie Lynn. That's a 540. I thought at first it was a rare play, but I was reading it backwards. 540. So we're looking at the second baseman, and with the blue 0, that's automatically going to be made. Second baseman is McKay. Look at McKay on the 540. That would have been a double play had somebody been on base. Instead, it's just a 4-3 ground out. So Coleman going to stay in there. He hasn't given up anything yet, so why not keep him in? He's effective. He's retired. Let's see. He's retired. Out of the 6 batters he's faced, he's retired 5 of them. So can't fault him for that. He's doing as well as he can do, but they're behind 4-0. And here's Eckersley facing Baylor, Howell, and Mayberry. That's a 179, and that's a non-split, and that's a walk. So Baylor, a rare walk off of Eckersley. But he did walk 71 as a starter. He didn't get his real good pinpoint control until he went to Oakland as a reliever. That's when he really honed in on his control with pitching coach Dave Duncan. Got a hold of him and really they got him to pinpoint that control. Here's Howell, 544, and that's going to be a check of the second, Jerry Remy. So 544 for Jerry Remy. Jerry Remy's numbers on a 544, and that's a 463 double play. Again, tailor-made. 2 quick outs. If I ever do a fictional league again, I will definitely have that as a sponsor. I'll find some fictional tailor shop to sponsor the tailor-made double play of the game. Now here's Mayberry, 485, and he's against a righty Eckersley. 485 is a fly to center field. 495 would have been a deep drive, but 485, just a deep fly to center. Lynn puts it away, and Eckersley cruising through 6 innings, shutout ball. And Coleman back out again. He hasn't given up anything since he reached his fatigue innings, so he's going to keep his endurance a little longer. Here's Hobson, 329, non-split. That's a strikeout. 3rd strikeout for Coleman. And that'll bring up the boomer, George Scott. 218, and that's a righty, so 218 is going to be redirect to a 418. 418 is a 6-3 ground out. So that's 2 away for Jack Brohammer. 100, round the number, that's a redirect to a 300, and 300 is a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Coleman. And he's just doing yeoman's work here. So, Clay, I don't know about as far as being realistic or whatever, but his stamina is only a 1. He's pitched 2 2/3 innings, but it's been spectacular. So does he still keep his fatigue? I mean, is that realistic to let him keep going? I guess is my question. Because my inclination is to let him keep going, but I want to be realistic too, in thinking, what would he really do there? But I'm thinking if he's effective, leave him in there. He's got all year to rest, as the saying goes. The whole off season to rest. Here's Al Woods, 375, non-split, and that's going to be a fly to left. 1 away for Willie Upshaw. 323, non-split. That's a strikeout. For Eckersley, that is strikeout number 4. Hadn't had that many strikeouts, just 4 of them. And here is Alan Ashby, the catcher. All right, here's Ashby. We got a rare play. 506 brings in the rare playbook with the bases empty. So we go to the rare playbook with the bases empty to determine what page we go to in the rare playbook. So if we look at the rare playbook, bases empty means we're going to pages 30 through 33. So we're going to flip the next page over. This is page 30. Page 30 right here. If we get a low number, we'll stay on page 30. If we get a higher number, we'll flip to the page that corresponds with the number. We get a 187. So we're right here. 187 is in this bracket between 180 and 224. It says no play injury. Pitcher suffers a pitching injury. Roll for pitcher injury on page 25. After pitcher is replaced, roll again normally to resolve the plate appearance. So it looks like Eckersley might be injured here. After pitching 6 innings of brilliant baseball, he may be injured. So we go to the injury. Let's see here. On page 25, it says, okay. Go to page 25. We're looking at the injury thing here on page 25 for pitchers. So he's going to be injured one way or the other. It's just a matter. This is if you're playing non-as played season and you want to see, and you're playing injuries. This will tell you how often he's going to be injured. Trying to remember what dice roll you use on this. I don't know if you're using 2d10s or a d10 and a d6. Trying to remember what you roll here. It's all 3 dice added together. Okay, cool. That makes sense. All 3 dice added together. All right. Wow. That's 22. So that means he would be strained arm. He'd be out for 4 days. He basically missed a start is what that would mean. If you're playing a season with injuries, it would just mean he would miss the next start because he's out 4 days. So Eckersley will leave due to an injury. Ashby will still be at bat when he comes back, so it's like a ball 1 count. So Eckersley is going to go 6 2/3. And let's see, he will give up, of course, no runs. How many hits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits and a walk. Striking out 4. And we'll see who's going to come into the game for the Red Sox. They will go to Dick Drago. Dick Drago will be the guy. And Drago will get as much time to warm up as he needs after the injury. And he'll be facing Alan Ashby with 2 outs here in the bottom, or the top of the 7th, rather. That's a 155. And that's going to be a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So Drago keeps it going. We go to the bottom of the 7th. No 7th inning stretch for me. We're just going to keep rolling. And it's going to be Coleman again. As long as he's pitching well, he'll stay out there. Blue Jays do have action in their bullpen. They do have a right-handed action in their bullpen. They do have former Red Sox Tom Murphy. He's a former Red Sox. He is in the bullpen. So here's Burleson. That's a 550. 550. That means third baseman, and it's a 0 for the Blues. That means third baseman makes this play automatically. Roy Howell, no matter how bad you are. 530 would be a double play, but it's just a regular 5-3 ground out, and Burleson is out of there to start the 7th. 1 away for Jerry Remy. He's 3 for 3 in this game. 441, and that's Remy against a right-hander. 441 is going to be right here. It's a 4-3 ground out. 442 or higher, or 4. If he had 1 more point, it would have been a single, but instead it's a ground ball to second. There's 2 away for Jim Rice. That's a 293. Coleman, and that's going to be a deep drive to left, and that's the one guy you don't want to give a deep drive to. His power is a 9. So I'm going to add 2 to the 9. And basically, if you get a 7 or higher, he's going to get a home run. But he gets a 0-0. Wow. He still got a single out of it. But, boy, he got cheated on that one, I think. The dice were not kind. That should have been a home run for Rice, you would have thought. But that's why you roll the dice. Here's Yastrzemski, 582. That'll be an easy play for the center fielder with a blue 2. And we had blue 2s before Bluetooths came along. Rick Bosetti with that blue 2, 582 will be an easy fly out. If there was less than 2 outs and a runner was on third, he'd have to challenge the throw, but it's the third out and nobody's on third, so simply a fly out. And that's going to do it for Coleman. They're going to bring in Murphy to pitch the 8th, but Coleman did yeoman work for sure, as he kept the Red Sox off the board for 3 2/3 innings. He went longer than the starter did. So he's going to go 3 2/3. He's only going to give up 2 hits, no runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. And then Tom Murphy will pitch the 8th. Former Red Sox Tom Murphy pitched the 8th inning. But for now, Dick Drago is out, and he'll be facing McKay. We'll get a pinch hitter for Gomez. We're not going to let little Louis hit anymore. They'll go to somebody else in place of Louis. And let's see who they got on the bench. Do they have any decent hitters on the bench? They got Otto Velez. He's pretty good. Maybe about it. Tim Johnson, switch hitter, is pretty good at second base. McKay and Gomez will both be called back. And we're going to have Otto Velez hit for McKay. And we're going to have Johnson hit for Gomez. So first things first, it is Otto Velez. He will do the pinch hitting. And then Tim Johnson will pinch hit for Gomez. So double barrel pinch hitting action in the 8th, and then we'll work on the defense after the fact. Right now, Velez trying to get something going. Hello, Brian B. That's a 6-17. 6-17 is a pop up to second, or one away. I'm sorry, down here. What was I doing putting them by Ashby? That was dumb. Get that out of there. All right, so Velez pops out for one away. And here is Joe Coleman. And to play second base in the bottom of the 8th, the Blue Jays will bring in this guy, Garth Clockwork Orange. He'll take over at second base in the bottom of the 8th. Tim Johnson will play shortstop in the bottom of the 8th after he pinch hits for Gomez. That's a 5-46. Could be a tough play for Doyle with that blue 6. 5-46. No, he'll make the play. It's a 4-3 ground out, so he'll make the play. A lot of second basemen wouldn't have made that play, but he did. So there's 2 away, and we are back to the top of the Blue Jay order. And that means we'll be looking at Rick Bosetti. Bosetti is 1 for 3. That's a 205, and it's a redirect to a 405. 405 is going to be a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So Drago getting it done. I think we'll cap Drago right there just so we can bring in somebody else. So Drago will go an inning and a third and not give up anything. And we'll get a new pitcher in the 9th for the Red Sox. Looks like it'll be Tom Bergmeyer will come in and pitch the bottom of the top of the 9th. Tom Bergmeyer, left-hander. But Tom Murphy is going to come in and pitch for the Blue Jays against the Red Sox. And he'll be starting out facing Fisk, Lynn, and Hobson, the scheduled hitters. Still 4-0, bottom of the 8th. That's a 5-29. Boy, the blue 9 is going to be tough for the catcher on this one. Alan Ashby, I think this is going to be a walk or a pass ball or something, but nobody's on base, but it's probably going to be a walk, I imagine. And yep, no, it's actually a pass ball, so they got a break. The fact it's a blue 9, for the blue 4, 5, or 6 have been a walk, but This shows pass ball, but with nobody on. It's just a ball one, and we keep going. Yes, it is, Brian. The final game on the schedule, 348. 348 is a fly to right field, one away. Freddie Lynn. That's a 4-4-5. Let's see here, against a right-hander, 4-4-5 is a single. Would have struck out against a lefty, but against a righty, he singles. So Freddie Lynn singles. Brian, I may do a World Series replay, just the real World Series. I don't have any computer doing the standings on on the sim for this, but I may just, for the heck of it, play the Yankees and the Dodgers 1978 World Series in this. I'm not sure yet. I might do that. I haven't decided yet. All right, here's Butch Hobson. 377, and that's going to be a fly to right field. 2 down for George Scott, the boomer, George C. Scott. 634, home team batting 644, and that's going to be a 5-3 ground out to end the, or actually a 5-4 fielder's choice because there was a runner on first, and that's going to end the inning. So Murphy does his 1 inning of diligence and doesn't give up anything. We go to the top of the 9th. And Tom Bergmeyer, your new pitcher. And Bergmeyer scheduled to face Baylor, Howell, and Mayberry. And there's really nobody on the bench. You see, maybe Doug Alt might have a decent chance. 240, but he's a righty. Maybe you bat him in place of Howell. Yeah, they're going to pinch hit Alt in place of Howell. So Doug Alt will bat for Howell. So it's going to be Baylor, Alt, and Howell. Right-hander Doug Alt will pinch hit for Howell when the time comes. Right now, leadoff man is Bob Baylor, facing the lefty Bergmeyer. 346, and that's a non-split. That's going to be a pop-up to first base. And hauling it in there is the boomer George Scott, 1 away, and now Doug Alt, the pinch hitter. Hit 240. He does have a deep drive against lefties, if he can find it. 459. Oh, boy, just missed a single in a 460, but 459 is a 4-3 ground out. 2 down. And in case you were curious, not that you were, but had you been curious, Roy Howell on a 459, Roy Howell would have singled. But hey, you play the percentages. So here's Sean Mayberry. 419 against a lefty. 419 is a 4-3 ground out, and that's going to do it. The Red Sox shut out the Blue Jays, not unexpectedly, 4-0, behind Eckersley, Drago, and now Bergmeyer, who goes a 1-2-3 inning. So the Blue Jays, no runs, 5 hits, and an error. For the Red Sox, 4 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. Winning pitcher was Dennis Eckersley. The loser is Jefferson. There is no save because it was not close enough to be a save. Okay, so we have completed the NBC game of this week schedule. We've gone from April all the way to the end of September on the schedule, which completes the season here in Season Ticket Baseball. Now, what I may do, don't hold me to it because I'm not committing to it yet, but it's a probability that I may play the 1978 World Series as played, Yankees and Dodgers, with these, and see how it does. So, but that's something that can be played, during the week and stuff like that. So, I'd have to actually look at the schedule of the 1978 World Series. I don't know if they played day games back then or not. I think they were still all night games, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I'd look at the schedule on that and see I know the Dodgers, I think the Dodgers had home field advantage if I'm not mistaken. I think the National League, it was a DH in the World Series because it was an even year, which means when they rotate the DH in even years, the DH was a part of the World Series. But I believe, let's see, the first game could have been Guidry because they had to use Guidry. Well, let's see. No, I take that back because they played the ALCS. So let's see. World Series. Here we go. World Series. Tommy John and Ed Figueroa were the first two starters. Dodgers actually crushed the Yankees 11-5 on that first game. They just tore apart Ed Figueroa, Ken Clay, Paul Lindblad, and Dick Tidrow. And Tommy John, it's a farce that Tommy John's not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Guy's got a freaking surgery named after him, for goodness sakes. And how many games the man win? 288 games. How many games you got to win to get in the freaking Hall of Fame? If you stay around long enough to win 288 games, you should be in. And you can't tell me if it wasn't for the Tommy John surgery that he wouldn't have gotten those 12 wins in the season that he missed, 1975. He would have gotten those 12 wins and would have been in the Hall of Fame. So, oh, cool, Clay. Yeah, I'll do that. And if people can contact Clay if they want to get if you want to get I guess Clay is offering, if you want a free copy of the 78 PDF World Series to play along or to follow along, you can do that. I'd have to go and get the World Series rosters, pull all the cards out, and all that good stuff. So that definitely could be a thing. Let's see, when was this game played? This game was played on a Tuesday night. So how about this Tuesday night? Instead of playing my Demolition League game, we'll be doing game 1 of the 1978 World Series. Sounds like a plan. It'll be the Dodgers and Yankees from Dodger Stadium. It'll be Tommy John against Ed Figueroa. And there will be a DH used in this World Series. So that'll give me some more work to do, Clay. I need to go to these two teams and make sure I get their World Series rosters all active and take people off that aren't, take people away that aren't on the roster. That sounds great, Clay. I appreciate that. Appreciate you doing that for the folks out there. All right, so Tuesday night, I'm going to say 8:30ish maybe. I don't know what RJL is doing, so I may make it 8:30. I think we'll do 8:30 Tuesday night Eastern. That's the Eastern. Remember, I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Virginia, so it's the East Coast thing. So, and I don't know, does anybody know if Sports Sim Research, where I got this score sheet, did they have the World Series score sheets too, or just regular season? Because I may have to just do it manually myself with a score sheet. So I'm not sure if Baseball Sim Research does it for the postseason or not, or whether it's just for regular season. I don't know. So, but I thought, what a way to cap off the 78 NBC game of the week, but play the World Series. I'm not going to mess with the NL and ALCS. I'll just do the World Series. Keep it brief. And we'll go with that. And I'll play it. I think it went, where did it go? 6 games in Real World? Yeah, it went 6 games Real World. So I'll use as played lineups for the first 6 games. And if for some reason it goes to a game 7, I'll just have to do whatever I think they would have done. So, John, I'm in Richmond, or actually I'm in Petersburg, down near Petersburg, but basically the Richmond metro area is where I'm at. So, anyway, all right, so I'll put that on my schedule. Tuesday night. Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm just, 20-minute drive up 95 to hit the city of Richmond. So, easy access to 85 and 95 where I am. Right there in Dinwiddie County, right on the Petersburg, Colonial Heights, Tri-City, that whole area there. Grew up in Mechanicsville, and born in Henrico, grew up in still there, but the name is no longer there, so I don't associate with the school anymore. But um, c'est la vie, as they say on that. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and play game one Tuesday night. I'm gonna schedule it for 8:30 Eastern. That's when I'm gonna try to get on. Best, it may be 5 or 10 minutes one side or the other of that, but I'm gonna plan at least for 8:30 Tuesday night, and it'll be the Yankees and the Dodgers from Dodger Stadium. But there will be a DH because that's what they used in the real world. So that'll give me some homework to do between now and then, is to get the Yankees and Dodgers out and get the um, World Series rosters together and get my score sheets together and be all ready to go Tuesday night. So that'll give me a nice little diversion from all the Stratomatic. So how about that? So we'll do that, and that'll be Tuesday night. So I do appreciate everyone who followed along in the whole replay and made things interesting for this NBC game of the week. I don't know what the NBC game of the week will be next year. I don't know what season. I don't know what game engine. I don't know anything because that's too far away for me to even think about it. I'm just getting through this one. So I'll have to mull that over, and something will hit me probably, down the road. Who knows? Hard to say. But I'm assuming it would be somewhere in the 70s or the 80s because that's basically the heyday for the NBC game of the week. Maybe late 60s, but I don't remember. I don't know how much the NBC game of the week was actually on. I guess it was in the late 60s. I don't know. It's before my time. I was born in 65, so late 60s didn't know what was going on. So, but we'll figure it out. All right. So again, thank you all for participating in the NBC game of the week. Again, Boston finishes out in style, 4-0. Eckersley got hurt, but it's the end of the season, so no big deal there. And late 60s it was, Ernest. Okay. Well, I do have the 1967 on season ticket up. That was the first season I bought PDF and printed off on those that paper you get off Amazon that would suggest it. And that actually turned out pretty well. But I only printed out the American League because that's all I cared about in 1967 was the American League. So I'm not sure I'm not sure what I would do for next year. That's too far away to even worry about it. Who knows what's going to, a year from now, who knows what can happen. I mean, last year at this time, I didn't think I'd be retired now, but I am. So, things in life change all over the place. So you never know. But thanks to everyone. Special thanks to Clay for coming in and following along on the replay and giving me rules helps when I needed it. And thank you for putting out that PDF for everybody. So if they want to print off the teams and follow them along or have them on a screen and follow along, you could do that as well. I don't know. Yeah, because I've got to find the rosters and see, make sure I got everybody all set aside. So I have the proper 25-man rosters for each team and get the pitching rotations all set up and everything. I believe the 78 World Series was when they had the infamous Bob Welch striking out Reggie Jackson confrontation in one of those games in Dodger Stadium. I don't know if it was game 1, game 2, or whatever, but I remember that, where they struck out Reggie Jackson. That was a big to-do for Welch, who was a rookie, I believe, that year. So could be some interesting stuff, fun times, and we'll get at it on Tuesday night. So thank you all for spending part of your Saturday morning / afternoon with me. Probably won't do anything else tonight on the channel, and I usually take Sundays off. So next stream for me will be Monday morning around 9 o'clock, and it will be the Boston Red Sox taking on the Cleveland Indians. 1987. It'll be Al Nipper taking on left-hander for Cleveland, Greg Swindell. And that'll start the May 26th block in the 1987 replay. So have a great day, everybody. Hope the weather's great wherever you are. If you like college football, hope you enjoy your college football today. If you like the NFL, hope you enjoy the NFL tomorrow. And I'll see everybody on Monday morning. All right, take care, and as usual, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Don't forget, Tuesday night, first game, World Series 1978 on Season Ticket.